Hello, hello. I'll wait for people to come in here. Okay. All right. Stream looks good, I think. Discord looks good. All right, let's get this started. Well, welcome to the public portion of the July 2026 General Staff Meeting. We just had an hour-long private portion because we had to vote on 2 premier city candidates at this meeting. That would be Ox River and Refuge. I'll announce the results of that now before we get into the rest of the meeting. For Ox River, unfortunately, the Ox River did not achieve the threshold needed to be promoted to Premier. There were 5 votes in favor and 8 against. So that means Ox River will not be promoted to Premier. For Refuge, it was unanimous, 12 votes for promotion from all staff members voting, of course excluding Moraine because conflict of interest and all that. But yeah, so we will be promoting 1 premier city at this meeting, and that is Refuge. So congratulations, Moraine.
Speech.
You do have the opportunity to say a speech right now, but I figure that you don't want to be on VC. So how are you going? Let me ask you this: how are you going to deliver your speech?
Someone else can read it for you if you'd like.
That is true. No, don't choose elite.
Elite.
don't elite. Choose elite.
Please choose. He does have a good radio voice. It is true.
That's true. That is true.
Me? Oh, okay.
Haha.
I've been voluntold. Okay. Ahem. When I first joined the server in July 2024, I was overwhelmed at the complexity and impressed by the organization of the community. I'd found somewhere that I thought, given enough time and effort, could become a new sanctuary for me. I wanted to build a grand city on a hill, a refuge. Over the next several weeks, I slowly built the foundations of this city. I took advice from others and did my best to make something I'd never done before, to make a place where I would truly want to live had this been real life. It grew from a house and a general store on a small street on the beach, to a small town on the coast, and eventually to a senator city. After that summer, I took several months off, but I eventually felt the allure of the MRT pull me back. Over the next year and a half, I would expand the city far beyond its limits, fill the central island, and spill out across the canal. I connected my city on a hill to the outside world, kickstarted development in the overall region, got conductor, and eventually moderator. However, none of this could be done without the lovely and supporting community behind it. Had Refuge been built in a single-player world, it would not have gotten nearly as far as it has gotten today. I am not done with Refuge or the MRT. In fact, far from it. I want to continue expanding the city and see how far I can go. Overall, I suppose, if I only had a few words, I would say, thank you. Thank you for all the memories you've given me, all the support, and all of the fun. I genuinely feel proud, not just of Refuge, but of the MRT as a whole.
Insert Woots here.
That was me clapping, but hang.
Yeah, I don't know if it caught in the microphone, but yeah, congratulations, Moraine.
Congratulations, and sorry to Spegate, whose tracks I just accidentally broke. I put them back.
Oh.
Okay. All right. The review text, I guess, the review stuff that the staff wrote, that'll be available in the public doc pretty soon. So watch for that. And yeah, Moraine will figure out all the speech stuff and the flag stuff and all that later as well. Okay, let's move on to the rest of the meeting. We're going to move on to conductor applications. We have one, and that is Tonster. Oh, actually, no. Whoops, I
do we
forgot
wanna-
something.
Yeah, we gotta do the board first, right?
I forgot to do the wheel. Hold on. The wheel. Where's my wheel? Can I show this on screen? Okay, there's a wheel. And then if I stream... There we go. Okay. Let's choose our GSM location.
Wheel.
I'm not sure if I updated
Wheel.
this wheel.
Wheel,
Oh, well.
wheel.
Bless you.
Bless you.
That was a
Oh,
cough.
no. No!
No!
Let's go.
I don't remember who put
That's the
that
sort
there.
of borehole. They created the MRT borehole. It would be funny to do it in the survival one. but
Just get
No.
DNA on. Hey, can you set the survival server to creative for a second so we can have our...
Oh no.
Oh, Frozen. Frozen doesn't know about the borehole. This is before he came back. Yeah.
Oh
Hmm.
my god, Frozen doesn't know the borehole.
He's not aware.
This is a lot busier than I remember it being.
I'm there.
We need to build... How are we going to do this? Can we just build in the ground next to the borehole? Is that good enough?
Build under the borehole.
In the
Build
bottle,
underneath it.
surely.
No, remember, it needs to be easy to clean up,
There's no
so...
underneath.
I don't
Yeah.
think this needs cleaning up.
It's the borehole. What is there to clean? You'd have
No, I mean the stuff
make new-
that people are going to do
borehole
this
extension.
today. You know what I mean.
clear out another chunk.
Okay, hold on.
Borehole 2.
No borehole 2, please. Thank you. Simon and I thought this would be a nice event where, it'd be fun to have a little hole in the ground. And then people, well, this is what
A
happened.
little hole.
Oh, there's already a GSM table here.
Wait, where?
Right where I am.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, Frozen. Yep, you see, Frozen's not impressed. Okay, let's.
The borehole.
What?
Okay, moving on. Let's go to conductor applications. We have one that's Tonster. I'm going to randomize the list of staff. And I'm going to call on you to vote. Is anyone taking minutes? Is AP, maybe?
Yeah, sure. I'll do minutes.
Okay, yeah, the table should be available right there for you. So,
Also, just
Okay.
quickly while we're on the thing.
all right. So for conductor or for Tonster, the first one up for voting is 7D, who submitted an absentee ballot of neutral. And then next is Moraine. Moraine is voting for. I'm next. I'm voting neutral. And then next is Frozen.
Oh, 4 in the chat.
Oh, in chat? Okay. For a moment, I thought Frozen was shell-shocked by the borehole, so maybe he didn't vote there.
I mean,
Not
yes. but-
surprising.
Okay. After Frozen is Needon, who did not submit an absentee ballot, so did not vote. HVD also did not vote. I have no absentee ballot from him. Next is Foot.
Neutral.
Foot is voting neutral. Sesh.
I'll be voting for.
Sesh is voting for. DNA submitted an absentee ballot of... Where is it? 4. Yeah, DNA is voting for. Next is Zooj. Zooj. Zooj is voting neutral. Next is Kel.
Neutral.
Kel's voting neutral. Vicky submitted an absentee ballot of neutral. Next is AP.
Voting neutral.
AP's voting neutral. Next is MBF.
Against.
Against. And then finally we have Alpha. Alpha's here? Yeah.
I'll hold 4.
Alpha's voting for. Okay.
Apparently, I voted Bjortrula.
What is that? There we go. I'll read out some of the absentee ballots for Tonser. So Vicky voted neutral, a longtime member and an important part of the community, but his warning from 3 years ago in politics channel weighs on me more than it probably should as a trans person.
Yeah.
That's a long time
Yeah.
ago, but I don't know. IDK. I personally can't look completely past it at this point. DNA voted, where's his vote again? DNA voted for, longstanding member with no previous issues related to World Edit access or griefing. I would trust Tonser with the tools World Edit provides. And 70 voted neutral. I personally didn't see any focus on wanting to help others in their application besides the mention of communication, unlike majority of other conductor applications. So it slightly wasn't enough for me to give a 4. Okay. The floor is open. Who wants to comment on this one?
I don't think Tonster's been conductor before.
No, he has not.
Yeah,
He-
that has very little bearing, but for some reason,
Sorry, I mentioned he has tried to become conductor at least once before, I believe. Yeah.
I believe that was the March or April GSM from last year.
Or was it, are you sure was it this year? Are we sure?
It was 2025.
Okay. Okay.
okay.
Well, I'm I think the only against vote, so I should probably say why.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I am concerned about Tonster's focus on the letter of the rules versus the spirit of the rules. From what I could tell with Tonster, he very much lives by the spirit of the rules are exactly what is written and nothing more and nothing less.
Mhm.
And while that works great in some scenarios, I really don't think that's what we want to encourage on the MRT, because let's be real here, the rules are not written by professionals, and
No.
we're kind of a community that's based on that
Trust,
operates
I guess?
on trust, and the assumption that everyone is vaguely on the same page and in the same boat and trying to accomplish similar goals
Mhm.
in what we want in our community.
Yeah.
And when the rules are looked at purely by purely as an obstacle to work around, like say a coding challenge, it really defeats the purpose of them, and I'm concerned about world edits popping up that have been justified in that way and just skirting around the rules rather than understanding why the rules are there and what they're seeking to avoid.
Yeah.
And
Honestly, I'm
yeah.
kind of thinking of maybe swinging my vote to an against, because I know Tonster does have some issues with like secrecy in a lot of his projects. He's not very open and like transparent about. Like there was an incident a few months ago with the rail line going through.
Yeah.
I think it was Albayuri's town or something like that, where they had like a spat because Tonster was being like very secretive with what he was not proposing, but just like,
I feel like that was more of a communication issue than because he was talking with Albayuri about what was going to happen, and it did not. I wouldn't say that was a secrecy issue, although there was secrecy involved. It's more of what Foot is saying, that Tunster, rather than erring on the side of, oh, we should probably propose that, tends to err on the side of, well, if the rules don't say I can't do it, then I'm going to do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had a quick look through the record. It was the April 2025 GSM. At the time, it was 7 for, 8 neutral, 1 against. Apparently, I voted against back then. I don't recall
Yeah.
completely why.
Yeah.
But now, yeah, it's. I think I'm with you, MBF, on it's the secrecy in projects is not something we should be encouraging from anyone, frankly.
Yeah. Sorry, AP.
For example, we don't
Oh.
even know what CR stands for, and it's already enveloped the world in Rails.
Sorry, AP. I just noticed my vote is marked as 4, but I'm pretty sure I said neutral, right? Could just staff, could you just double check your vote in the minutes doc just to make sure that it's been recorded correctly here? Just because I know there was some some votes.
Yeah,
that were,
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm working with a new keyboard, so
that would explain.
well, a keyboard I borrowed from a housemate. Sorry, that's my bad.
So going off what you just said, MBF. So yeah, I would agree. The whole thing about, well, just in general, like the whole thing, like even a really good community that knows how to write rules, they can't. It's an impossibility for them to write rules for every possible scenario. There's always going to be something that's like that comes up, or it's not, that doesn't really fit within the rules as written. So yeah, we should not be. I agree that we should not be. We should be trying to go for the spirit of the rules, or what the community generally agrees upon, like what is the norm. My question to you though is, when it comes to conductor activity, because that's what we're specifically voting on, how would you see that affecting Tonster if he was a conductor? Like, if he didn't, like maybe some specifics there, perhaps.
It's something about what Foot said about the concern that you'll just see a giant mountain popping up without a proposal because it barely skirts around the rules.
Okay.
Though I don't have a specific example. Actually, I do. There was the mountain in Flat Edge, which was proposed as simply a mountain.
Oh, yeah, there was a rail thing underneath it,
But the
which wasn't
purpose of it
disclosed.
was for the rail, and it was presented to staff as, this is a mountain for the sake of a mountain, and we're building it for the view. Where in reality, it was designed for the express purpose of hiding the gigantic rail station, because it would look ridiculous, just out in the open like that.
And to be specific, that train, I don't remember that proposal off the top of my head, but it was not.
It was simply a mountain proposal.
It was not
accepted.
mentioned. Yeah, there was not explicitly meant. That train station wasn't explicitly mentioned in the proposal. Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
And like sometimes the scope of projects does change a little bit, but we have generally, if the scope of a project has changed, the responsible thing is going. It's acknowledging that and saying maybe a re-proposal.
That wasn't the case in here either, because even before the proposal was made, the mountain was a result of figuring out how to put the train station in. So that was known well before it was proposed. Well, maybe not well before, but before it was proposed.
There isn't really a rule that, limiting the size of train stations, so I can understand.
No. But
yeah,
it is relevant information regarding the mountain, which is
like the purpose of it.
So I guess again, so it sounds like it's more of an issue of like transparency, communicating with staff if changes happen, right? So, and it's not exactly, it's not exactly specific to like conductor duties, but when it comes to trusting someone with with those conductor things,
it's also this conception that having a doctor makes it easier for him to do these things in the first place.
That's the main reason why I'm voting against.
Okay. Oh, so wait, who was that? Sorry.
Cal.
Did you change? Oh, you're changing to against now?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's make that. It's not in the minutes yet, so I don't think AP got that recorded yet.
I wasn't sure if you had actually officially changed it. Yep, Awesome Keldeo is against.
I mean, I'm staying neutral because I'm probably being more pessimistic than I should be, but I also understand where those are coming from.
Well, just in
So I know I
fairness,
have a tendency to be pessimistic.
just in fairness, for those that are here that voted for, would you mind providing some arguments in favor? Because I think because there are quite a few for votes here. I would like to hear about from those. Like,
I think personally that getting conductor will not necessarily materially change the concerns that exist already for Tonster in a significant way, which is mainly why I'm going to stay for, I think.
even though it might, I think again, if I'm understanding the concern, even though it might possibly make it easier for, say, Tonster, like to just make what Foot said, basically, like a mountain just appearing out of nowhere. Like we are giving them the power to do that a lot easier now.
That is true, but at least we know that like Tonster has made proposals for that before. And if there are, like, if anything, like in the case of the rail line, for example, that already happened regardless of whether or not Tonster had conductor, if that makes sense. So I think those are separate concerns.
Okay. Rain says, Tonster has personally helped me a lot in a lot of many tasks. I think Tonster would be able to do a lot of good as a duck. Tonster is saying that MBF has a conflict of interest, but if you're going to say that, Tonster, you better be specific about that. What do you mean?
Just so you know, if you've not noticed, the meeting chat is not coming through from the Discord into the Minecraft chat.
I can see it.
I can see it just
I
fine.
see it.
Oh. Huh.
Are you not joined in the channel, perhaps, KP? That
Yeah,
might be a
left the
thing.
channel.
I'm in the channel.
That's a bit odd. I see it on the
Oh,
stream,
are you looking
too.
at events or are you
You're an
looking
event.
at GSM?
GSM.
Oh!
I'm sorry I regret making the channel GSM and not E, because people are still confusing it with E here.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
well.
why. How many years has it been since?
Tonster, so based on what you just said, I didn't reveal the scope of the project because I didn't want to promise the server that I could actually build something to the scope. I don't think that's a good idea. You should,
Yeah.
if you think that potentially something could happen where, future expansions or future plans of what you're doing, you should put those up front for not just staff, but for everyone on the server to know about. That's how, honestly, most city projects, urban projects out there work. Like there's usually a short-term plan of what you're going to do. And then maybe in several years or much longer, this is the long-term plan. You don't hide those sort of things. That's not, if you do that, usually your citizens, your people living in your town, they get kind of angry about that, because then it's like, well, where'd this come from, right? You can also say in your plan, like, you could also always say, like, we don't know if this long-term plan will happen. We're not promising anything, but at least just let us know that potentially that could be that's a possibility that could happen. Does that make sense to you, Tonster? I feel like there's a big fundamental like misunderstanding here. So normally we don't usually allow candidates to speak in the VC because it's
Right. Yeah. You've never asked anyone. I think the point's been made. You've never asked this of anyone else. It's never generally not been asked of other people up to now because it's not been an issue up to now.
Mhm.
There's not been and generally, I'm going to use the example, Katie's plans with Railink have generally been quite open, generally been quite the thing of, this is going to happen long term. For instance, Hut has the map in the lab world, which has been the things are documented in a fairly public place, and plans are, if not on exactly public show, have been quite easily available.
well, I'm not sure if I'm trying to debate whether I should allow Tonster to speak here because it's not something we've done. And
It's not. I doubt it's going to change the vote.
Is there any reason not to besides precedent? In other words, why is the precedent in place?
I think it's mainly because what can sometimes happen is, and I do remember one time where this did happen, and I will mention this name. Autobus was up for a moderator, and I wasn't here, so I wouldn't. If I was, I would have stopped it. But I think Chiefs decided to allow them to speak at the GSM, and that's not something that's usually happened, right? So that's the kind of the one time I can think of that off the top of my head that's where the precedent has been broken before.
Monster is saying that he did speak in the 2025 GSM, April.
He did? Well, if that's the case, then I don't remember. So maybe that's on me. So you can't, if you want to speak, Tonsu, you can, but keep in mind that this may not change anyone's mind here. So just have don't have too high expectations, I would say. How do I do this? How do you accept an invite to speak thing? I guess that works.
Okay. Hi, this is my second time doing this for conductor apps. Yeah, I don't have high expectations to change any votes, but I do want to set the record straight, mainly because, yeah, we have this idea right now that I would likely summon up another mountain or something massive out of nowhere if I had conductor powers. I do get that concern. Particularly, yeah, I did work on a railroad and have that summon, not overnight, that took weeks to plan out and then set up. Again, I personally didn't actually expect it to go move this fast. I was planning to get all of that out by like July. But it happened to move a lot faster than we expected. And again, I didn't think it was going to be an issue to have to communicate when we built the railroad because we didn't build 15K overnight. It was just like other rail lines and how they would build it. They just maybe like stack and that would come out really fast. It's just that we did it in a manner, we felt that it was safe to do it in a manner that was much quicker because we knew that it wouldn't cause that much damage. And fundamentally, that was why we did it at the speed we did, was because it made sense to do it quickly because it was a lot safer onto the server in terms of world edits. And the way it was set up, which was using there's a proprietary technique that made sure that it was a very safe move. In terms of communication and letting people know about the tracks, I think it was mostly driven again out of not wanting to over advertise our rail line or draw a lot of attention towards it, because I was of the opinion that it's trying to it's more of an opinion of integrity and not trying to sell a product that I hadn't finished, that was incomplete. So that was my reasoning behind that, and I realized that, yeah, maybe I should communicate a little bit about what my plans were, but if you actually saw the real planning, it wasn't much. It was more, we have these cities and let's say, hey, let's connect them up. Let's talk to the town owners. Let's reach out. Let's try to work with them. In the case of Albayuri, as was mentioned earlier, Albayuri actually, well, I communicated with Albayuri. I asked them whether or not I could, and I gave them a rough outline of what we were going to do. And in response, they agreed. And where the issue came up with that was that Albayuri was not actually happy with the way it turned out, because we had moved it a bit too close or something to their town. Even though there was a line, they were able to see it. They just never communicated to us that the railroad needed to be in a certain position, or it needed to be a certain elevation or something like that. And it was that they instantly escalated over to staff, and then I was basically, the only reason why I knew what was going on was because I teleported over to there just to see what was going on, and they never communicated to me at all. So I tried to work with them. I think there were some allegations of me trying to pressure them. I don't know where that is coming from. I tried to negotiate, I tried to work with them and try to communicate with them. If that is not an example of me trying to communicate, I don't know what is. I do try to communicate with staff with what I think is reasonable and is expected based on precedent. I'm not trying to skirt the rules per se. I am trying to work with what I know from precedent. How are things usually operated? When do we need to escalate it over the staff? And in the case of it's quiet. Okay. And in the case of building like massive railroads or something like that, I honestly, it never could cross my mind that staff would have to intervene, that it would be a problem that we built a network. And again, these are all within the rules. And we communicated with the town owners itself, the people that actually would be directly affected. And this is where I want to bring up MBL, is specifically that he has a network that is also roughly parallel with mine. He also wants to use our stuff. And the reason I say we have a conflict
I don't think
interest,
that's relevant.
Agreed.
just the reason I'm saying it's a conflict of interest here is because because I didn't tell him what our plans were, because it's my railroad. I don't know if I needed to. And that because I didn't, it kind of overrid some parts of its plan. And I feel like that would cause conflict there, because I didn't realize, I realized that it may have caused conflict there because like he would have liked for us to talk about our plans, to advertise to everyone like how Perp Rail does it. We don't. We try to keep it within like being clear, at least with the town owners itself, rather than other rail companies. But yeah, and I kind of have that, which is a bit worrying. And okay, in the case of the flat edge station, I genuinely forgot to mention that it was going to be a station underneath, because again, from my previous experience, it's mostly been about the mountain itself. Because I work again with the precedent that you have set, and I try to work within the mindset that I have seen how other people have worked and how other people have reacted, and I make my judgments based on that. And with the flat edge mountain, I just forgot that we were going to stick a station, like to mention that we're going to stick a station under it, because mainly the issues that I've seen was to be summoning up something really big and summoning up a mountain. So the mountain was the main part. I know there was no regulation with stations, so it's like I don't remember. And also at the time we were proposing it, the scope of it was mostly just the mountain. We didn't have any plans for the actual stations yet. It was just like maybe down there.
But if you're going to add the station, why did you not inform staff or anyone else at that time? I think that's
because we don't know. Again, it comes down to me.
But it got built. It got built, right?
Yeah, it got built a lot. Again, this happened a lot faster because I just had a free weekend and I just decided to do it.
But before you were going to build that, why? Like again, if you want to just double check and make sure things are all kosher with staff and the rules and whatever, you gotta, before you build something, just ask and just double check with us. That's all we're asking. Why not do that?
Because it's never been expected of anyone else to do so. As in,
No,
I
no,
don't
that's not
remember
that's
it.
incorrect.
not.
A lot of other people on the server over the many years have always just asked, just casually asked other people, like, "Hey, is this allowed? Can I change this MRT line intersection? Can I add this sort of thing?"
Yeah.
And staff can make
It-
a course sort of a quick judgment, or if it's something more complicated, they'll ask the rest of staff. That's not no, I don't.
It's because it's in this specific extrapolating like editing MRT lines, anything within the regulations of staff, and implementing and extrapolating that we need to actually do it in this specific instance. I didn't realize that, and also I did forget to do that. There's that too. But mostly, yeah, I do communicate with as much as I can to the best of my knowledge. And I guess my knowledge is flawed. But yeah.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. MBF, do you, considering that, Tonster, you've made an allegation toward MBF here in a public setting, I'll have to note. I'm not sure if this is really appropriate, but I will give MBF a chance to respond here. If he wants to.
So I hear what you're saying. And yeah, I certainly was hoping that I would be considered, a impacted party, considering that I also operate rail in the region and was hoping to track share. But I did try to not let that influence me here. And I'll admit that's probably not something that's realistic for me to do. So
No.
If
No.
Sorry. Personally, I don't think this is a conflict of interest, but I am still willing to abstain if other staff feel that there's a case where I should.
That could be an option if we want to go that route, yeah. Okay, so to be honest, I'm not really entirely sure how to proceed with this. Do you guys want MBF to abstain from this just to even remove the possibility of a conflict of interest, even though it's been alleged? There's no proof or anything like.
I'm not sure.
That's fair. I'm not sure either.
I mean, that also only matters in the case that I am the deciding vote. So it may just not come down to it.
Yeah. I mean, MBF, if you want to abstain just on your own volition, you can do that too. That is also a possibility.
You know what? I'll do that. That'll make things easier.
Sure. Okay. All right. So MBF is abstaining from this. So the quorum, does that change quorum here at all? Or the majority?
Majority maybe, but I had thought that abstaining did not change quorum according to.
It does technically, because it's technically a do not vote.
Mhm.
It doesn't count as any of the other categories.
Oh, as in like, do we still have quorum? Okay.
Or it changes the majority percentages, So actually, yeah, there's no. Like, I'll put it this way, like, the staff have our opinion. Well, I mean, it's the way we sort of see projects. And Tonster and Whale have, and I've already seen that in chat, like, they have their own opinion about how things gone. I'm not sure if we'll ever agree eye to eye on that. And we'll keep that. I don't think it's worth discussing that further at this point, but at least Tonster had his time to, voice his opinion about that. I will leave that debate to maybe outside the GSM, if people want to make a community issue about it or chat in VC about it. I don't know. I'll leave it up to you guys to figure that out. But going back to this vote on Tonster, maybe I guess let's go back to this vote on Tonster. Do staff here feel confident in just proceeding with the vote as is? Does anyone want to change their vote at this point?
I'm afraid I'm moving into neutral. So not neutral, against. And
Okay.
That has not given me what little confidence I had. That has not given me any.
Which says I'm staying neutral because I'm inherently concerned, but I want to bring it up in case others were. Okay. Does anyone want to bring up any further points here? I guess I will make a comment here, Tonster, just so you know. Like, part of being a conductor, I think there's the trust component, and it's whether, and again, staff are choosing. We've chosen who people based, like, we're the ones choosing who the conductors are based on this vote. And I think a lot of the votes previously have always come down to, like, can we trust this person not to, screw things up with their world edit? Do they have enough skills with world edit? But also, like, will they, build things and stuff? And unfortunately, and I think it's fair to say that the trust isn't there. And that's, whether, whatever, Vivaldi's sort of previous conflict and stuff. I don't know if I think it's up to, I'm just going to leave it up to you and, other staff members if you want to repair that trust at all. But that seems like the vibe I'm getting from this vote here, since considering how it is pretty contentious. Like, the trust there's definitely some, I guess, trust issues here. And I'm assuming that it's also, sorry. I'm assuming it's also the same from your side too.
Yeah, it's both. I think it's somewhat both ways, except with AP. AP, I'm sorry. But yeah, I understand that there's an issue with trust. That makes sense. I just mostly just wanted to make it clear, like, just what the general context from my perspective was.
Sure.
I understand the issues of trust, and you can't exactly convince someone to trust you without showing that.
Yeah. Or specifically, it might take time to repair that trust if that is something that both sides want to do. So, yeah.
Yes. That. Yeah.
For what it's worth, I want there to be trust. For what it's worth, I want.
I do too.
But
So do I.
Yeah.
It's just right now, for the role of having the world edit acts, I don't. Anyway, that's.
Yeah. Okay, so based on this, just double checking the number of votes here. Yeah, so it is now sitting at 5-4, 5 neutral, yep, and 2 against, with MBF abstaining. That's not a promotion, so unfortunately, yeah, Tonster, you won't be promoted at this meeting. Technically, I will say though, technically actually, AP, we haven't, there's still the 3-month.
There is.
I think SBDev had the same issue, right? Because the August one's not.
Mhm.
So, and I guess it didn't get in time for this GSM. So, yeah, technically by the rules that you won't be able to reapply until, what's 3 months from now? October?
October?
Yeah, there's no August GSM anyway, so you wouldn't be able to get in here.
Yeah, it occurs to me if the change goes through eventually, that would be at the September GSM.
Yeah.
At which point, the earliest point for it to have potentially been affect.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
that
I
would
think-
potentially affect any conductors that apply in September.
Yeah.
Potentially.
So I know that you wanted,
October.
I know AP, you wanted to make a community issue to like change that, but I guess in this specific case of Tonster, considering it's a trust issue, I don't think 1 month even is going to be enough. Like even if that change you proposed was implemented already, I feel like 1 month's probably not enough time to fix those sort of issues. So maybe 3 months might be still better. Anyway.
It's
Okay, so based on that, yeah, Tonster will not be promoted here. Tonster, thank you for coming into VC and saying your side here. And I had move you to audience there. There we go. And all right. Well, that was unusual, but we're going to move on to the community issue, the community issue. Jinty wanted to talk about clarifying issues about floating airships and airports. Let me read some absentee ballots about this one, because there was a few things. Vicky said, let's read Jinty's here. So Jinty is proposing, actually, I don't know does anyone have a better summary of what Jinty was proposing? I don't know if I can summarize this. If anyone, can anyone else jump in perhaps if they know more about this topic? Or should I just read it out loud? Hello?
Well, I was about to read. I was looking at the event proposals from last GSM, so I'm not the one to.
Okay, I'm just going to read it out then. So Jinty has Omissa's stuff too. Okay, so Jinty initially said there was an odd little edge case in the rules I found today when planning for a regional intercity Zeppelin network. Currently, the air vehicle rules make no clear reference to floating and functional airships, helicopters, and blimps. I worked from the current rules 2 possible ideas for a written clarification for these rules. 1. Functional helicopters without direct and unabridged contact on the ground are banned wholesale per Rule 3 of the Helicopter, Heliports, Airships, and Blimps section, which seems to be more about people skirting the rules about allocated space on the ground, but we'll get to that. 2. Functional helicopters without direct unabridged contact on the ground count. However, they count towards airport allocation space with the vertical footprint of the craft from cubic corner to cubic corner, counting as a helipad taken up by the helicopter. In my mind, the better option is it allows more creativity with design while minimizing rule skirting. I'll read Mrs.'s comment here. Give me a sec. Mrs. has proposed a potential hybrid solution is to keep blimps, airships, etc. largely regulated the same as helis, but 1 point, provide clarification that such vessels do not need to be connected to the ground. Clarify rule number 3. And then also clarify how the third and beyond blimp/airship, etc. in a town counts toward air facility allocation. Require these to be part of an air facility, just like helis, or likely the simplest solution, or adopt a way to measure space taken up by a blimp airship, potentially using the methodology Jinty suggests in option 2, but would make it more complicated to determine a city's air facility space allocation usage compared to above. Can I ask this? Do people understand what Jinty is? Do they have a pretty good understanding of what Jinty is proposing here?
I think I get what they're trying to get at.
Okay. Reading some of the absentee. Oh, sorry. I'll just quickly read the absentee ballots here. 70 was in favor of Mrs. second idea. using the measuring the rectangular space, but I think I saw Vicky had a different opinion, saying that I'm not a fan of complicating the rules with alternative number 2. There's a cost and benefit about how airships leading to the sides of buildings like this are similar would be more complicated to enforce, but that's just me. Which I
kind of agree with that, honestly.
Like I think we've up to now. I think we've tried to tried to go with the KISS principle.
Yeah, well, also it had overhead for staff to like measure all the blimps and stuff. That'd be silly. Oh, and DNA is here, but I don't know if DNA. Do you want me to read your opinion on this as well? Yes, please. Okay. Oh, you actually wrote a lot. I'd have concerns regarding option 2 as it might be difficult to measure. Okay, as we said, I can foresee scenarios where people can ask to exclude long pointy bits such as antennas or lights, etc. on the aircraft. I think it would be a shame to include these bits as it would reduce people's ability to decorate their aircraft. I suppose here the actual problem which is trying to be solved is somebody building a giant tower docking hundreds of stacked aircraft vertically? Oh, okay. Could we perhaps have a rule following something along the lines of, quote unquote, aircraft cannot be positioned above each other without a proposal to staff, or something along these lines? I doubt there will be many scenarios where people will want to do that, and having a proposal requirement would let staff check, quote unquote, realism first, or rather ensure people aren't building an absurd number of aircraft stacked on top of each other. Maybe that's too much though, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we have a little bit of obviously we have a thing for any sort of governor airport requires any sort of governor airport requires a formal proposal. We don't require that for every air facility, heliports, seaplanes, except on the non-numbered lakes. So we do have precedent in terms of for air facilities requiring a proposal. The requirement that's to have a look over it, make sure it's vaguely sensible.
DNA says, I wonder where this is a case where... Oh, sorry.
I was just about to read this out.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Either complicate the rules or put up with the issue. We wonder if it's the case where keep it stupid simple can't solve the issue. Wait, keep it simple, stupid, not...
I've seen various different ones. I think it's fair to say, yeah, measuring is probably out of the question, but I'm just wondering... Yeah, airships are not explicit. If you read the section on the rules page, there's only, it has a big blurb about, it's mostly about helipads and helicopters because that's mostly what we've dealt with historically. And there's like 3 points that these rules only apply to functioning helicopters. And there's like 1, 2, and 3. There's nothing that mentions blimps and other stuff. So maybe the solution is to add more points to this or rewrite them? I'm not sure.
Yeah, the quote wording is blimps, airships, and VTOLs are treated as helicopters.
Oh, I missed that part.
By the letter of the law, the airship blimp must be touching the ground.
Maybe an idea is to like maybe have them require some kind of like docking facility somewhere for them to like the equivalent of like a helipad for a blimp, basically. Somewhere where the actual craft docks, and then include that in the helipad rules.
Let's see. The rule number 3 says explicitly, helicopters servicing functioning helipads must be touching the ground.
Yeah, I think this is one where the letter of the law doesn't quite meet the spirit of the law. Because a blimp floating slightly above the ground technically doesn't abide by the letter of the law, but it is realistic. So it would be within the spirit of the law.
Is there a KISS solution here? Let's say we remove that whole rule number 3. What's the implications of that? Like, that if we remove it, Jinty would be able to build blimps with, a ladder or something on top of a landing space, I would assume.
Maybe. I guess
I'm
also
just thinking about it. I think the MRT airships are technically floating because there's like a block between them and the landing dock.
Oh, what did Mrs. say? And then airships need to be anchored to a gate, much like helis need an helipad. Sorry,
I think the concern is is people stacking,
Yeah.
Stacking, okay.
like the giant tower example.
And then I guess that goes back to what DNA was saying. Maybe just replace this rule with don't stack. No stacking. What do you think of a dock like this in Peach Bay? We're going to see an example here. Oh yeah.
because this is securely attached to a dock.
Technically the ground, yeah, or a structure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the other thing. Letter of the law, helipads on the roof of an airport, which is quite common, is not touching the ground. It's touching a building.
Yeah. But
we've never had a problem with that because it's still realistic. It's the spirit of the law, not the letter of the law.
So do we want to change the rule to be like the blimp, the helicopter, heliport, airship blimp must be attached to the ground attached to a ground or structure in some way? Does that sound okay? I don't think it fixes the stacking issue, though. That's true. We could still also add that clause, too.
I like DNA's solution of if you want to stack, then make a proposal.
Yeah, I think that's probably the simplest way to do it.
Ah.
Yeah, it also allows the creativity if you want to still do that.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, so again, I'll summarize this. So again, so we know, get the text sort of correct. We'll probably rewrite it or something, but so remove rule number 3. So remove the rule that says it must be touching the ground. Or I guess change that rule so it says functioning helicopters must be attached to the ground or a structure. Is that okay? That part's okay?
Yeah.
That sounds it.
Sure.
Okay, and then we're going to add another rule that says if you want to, how do we word this? Stack? Is that, or maybe Mrs. says boarding structure?
Oh, I got it.
Yeah,
if
because
you
that would
want-
allow for like a blimp to hover a little bit with like a ladder coming down.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. Go, maybe if you had something?
Or what about, like, for example, a larger mothership with like a smaller lander? Would that be against the rules?
It's technically,
Because then it wouldn't be touching, but you would still have a realistic way to get there.
I would say.
It's funny we
Yeah,
haven't.
probably.
It's fun, or
That'd be-
it's funny we haven't had a sky city built on the MRT yet, because that would definitely fall into like, is that a city? It's technically flying. I don't know.
Why don't you do that?
That'd
be cool.
I don't have.
Dude,
I
somebody
don't
just
want to.
makes fucking Cloud City.
Just add a big scaffolding tower with the entire city attached to it.
Or we could just leave that alone, and then when the situation happens that someone does build a sky city, we'll deal with it in the rules or whatever.
Okay.
DNA's got it written. If you would like to position an aircraft above or below another aircraft, you must submit a proposal to staff. This is to prevent unrealistic aircraft staffing. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah, if the footprints of 2 aircraft overlap.
More than 2 functional. I think I do. No, unfortunately, I do think I like DNA's wording.
Okay.
bit better there. Yeah.
My concern is that, okay, they're not quite stacked, but there's like one block. Does that count? Please ask. All right. Yep. DNA. That'll work.
Yeah. Yeah. Once again, as I said earlier, the rules we write are not going to cover every single possible.
Yeah.
Someone's going to try to. Yeah.
And when that does happen, we'll handle it when it happens.
Yeah. Okay. AP, are you writing this down per chance?
Yeah. So I've got the rules page. Italics are additions, and obviously strike throughs are removals.
For the part that says functioning helicopters must be attached to the ground or structure, do you want to just maybe should we clarify that and say like it can be a rope or it could be or something? The problem is, the problem with boarding structure is again a blimp that's floating above where a landing spot. It's not. Is the ladder the boarding structure? I don't know.
I think something like that would be fine as long as it has like a ladder down to the ground.
Yeah. I guess that's what I mean by attached, because it's usually like the ladder or the rope is attached to the ground. But I don't know if we want to make that more clear.
Maybe put like a clause like this can include a ladder down to the ground.
Yeah, I like that. Easily accessible on foot when survive. Easily accessible without flying. Yeah, we can do that. Again, this is a very, keep in mind, this is a bit of an edge case, so we don't have to be too specific here.
Easily accessible by foot, chicken.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, DNA. Okay. I'm going to say this is good enough. I think what we have is good enough. So let me read this again. Functioning helicopters must be attached to the ground or boarding structure accessible without flying. For floating vehicles, this can be a ladder to the ground. If you would like to position an aircraft above or below another aircraft, you must submit a proposal to staff. This is to prevent unrealistic aircraft stacking.
That looks good.
I guess, if a proposal is made, would most people would we just usually reject it? Or is it just more like, I'm trying to think of when would we approve such a thing even? Yeah, I'm wondering if we could just say no, but I don't know.
I think we'd give it a lot more scrutiny, but we're not beyond giving projects a little more scrutiny than others which are uncontroversial.
Okay. Mrs. says, are we still requiring blimps beyond the first two to be part of an air facility? Is that out of scope of this? I don't know if that's being...
I mean, it's already covered by the current rules.
Yeah. No, I think the Ginty was asking, the proposal was about this specific part, I think.
I mean, you could just have a bunch of really tiny air facilities, each of which is a single blimp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that might just be out of scope of this proposal.
I mean, there's also just the inevitable point of if someone tries to do something really stupid, there's always the staff of final discretion rule.
Yeah.
Yep. We try not to use that often, but it is there.
So usually that results in a no rather than a yes.
Mm-hmm. Or would we consider a mass docking thing as an air facility? I mean, you have to build a tower of some sort, right, to attach to all those things. That's a structure.
What about daisy chaining? What about daisy chaining a bunch of blimps together?
I think that's why that's definitely a proposal thing. That's like We allow that sort of thing.
This is starting to
I
sound
think we're
less
getting
like
a little
staff
too into the
proposal.
edge cases here.
Yep, I
This is
think
starting
so.
to sound more like a trustee meeting.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, this is
Great.
good enough. I'm putting my foot down. So we'll adjust these rules. If people are agreeable to it. So, okay. Yeah. Let's go with this. So, let's go with what this text is, unless anyone has any other objections. And okay, it's fine. Okay, 2 hours. Okay. Oh, there was a trustee meeting. Damn it.
Also, while it's on my mind, there's not been the website update for the last couple GSMs. There is a write-up in the June GSM folder that covers May, June.
Yeah, I just haven't gotten around to writing. So I'll considering that the August GSM has been canceled, I'll try to find some time to just write them all up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's the one for May, June, so that would be. I took a liberty of that last time.
Okay. All right, let's get this meeting finished as soon as possible. Let's do the trustee meeting first, I guess. Is Elite still here?
Yes.
Okay. Elite, come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price Is... I don't know.
Elite's at the ball hall now.
I don't understand Discord's system of how to get... There we go.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you to Chamada for the ping. I am pleased to report it was a very short meeting, but it was indeed a meeting. For July 11, 2026, number 1 nominations. The Llama presently in the chamber of the trustees, for trustee, that was carried by a vote of 2-0. Misa Solemnis, for trustee, fails 0-3. The Whole, trademark, in MRT Summer Survival, for trustee, carries 2-1. The Concept of Fried Fish, for trustee, carries 4-0. Number 5, Speaker's motion to proclaim the MRT as a republic with Frempel as president and head of state ties at 2-2. Speaker votes nay. Get down, Mr. President. Number 6, Her Royal Highness, the Crown Princess of Spain, is hereby appointed as Secretary of the Interior. Number 7, motion to proclaim the Count Binface as the Member of Parliament for Clacton carries 2-0. Number 8, Speaker moved by executive fiat to discharge the Senate of its duty to advise and consent and to adjourn. His Excellency, the Honorable Elite Neon, Speaker of the MRT Chamber of Trustees and Senator from Shadowpoint, do hereby certify this document to be the manifestly undemocratic will of the Chamber of Trustees and its Speaker. May Eris the Eagle bless this hallowed body, and may he continue to spread his most omnipotent many such cases to the government and people of the MRT server. On the radio, whoa, on the radio, radio.
Thanks,
Meet me on
Elite.
next-
I wish he
Meet me on
warned us
next-
before he started singing.
Meet me on next MBS Radio. MBS
Content
Radio.
warning.
Not real.
Yeah.
This is where Frumple Stream gets taken offline for music copy.
You want
Music
DMC.
Oh,
copyright
please,
violations.
please take it offline. I want a copyright strike on my dead YouTube channel. Okay. All right. Q&A time. So this is the question and answer time for, whatever. If you have any comments, questions, whatever about anything that's been happening on the meeting or anything else, this is the time to let us know. Just post your question in chat or whatever. I will just remind people again, August GSM is canceled because J.S. Sparrow's Amazing Race, the second session, will be happening at the same time as that GSM. J.S. Sparrow let us know way ahead of time that'll be happening. So we decided to we'll just take a break. So the next GSM will be the September one. Were there any other, I don't know, staff, any other announcements that I should, anything worth noting? I don't know.
Vote for the bin.
Bin phase.
Ah,
That would be a slash pull.
True, it would be slash pull.
Slash pull, vote for the bin.
AP, I don't think you can quite do that.
okay. I'm not seeing any other questions or things, unless people are typing them out. But unless I see
And before a
something,
paragraph gets sent.
yeah. Sometimes people like they're in the middle of typing something, but if yeah, but I sort of it's easy to miss because they take too long. But like I'll give it maybe 30 seconds here. But I think we're about to end the meeting. Thank goodness.
Elite's invited to speak. Requested to speak.
Why?
Again.
Why?
Yes,
Oh.
I did have something to broach, and I'm going to issue a content warning. Mine eyes have seen. No, we'll go. Oh, way down south in the land of.
Moraine, just be quiet. Stop talking. I think that's
For 5 days.
She says she is the voice of all of us.
Moraine is the silent voice of the MRT.
Zuge has asked, Frumple, can we add an MRT Roblox server? No.
No, absolutely not.
No.
End of story.
I have a question. May I leave and go back to survival?
If you want to leave this meeting, okay, we're ending the meeting. Thanks everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for coming. Again, I'll see you guys. We'll see you guys in September. So bye bye.
With all respect, I do object.
With all the respect,
Okay.
goodbye.
God.
Yeah, goodbye.